Bon après-midi, il est temps de boire un verre de vin. Pour moi, un verre de vin rouge. S'il vous plaît. So come on in, take a sip. Let's wind down. We're going to wind down on the Sunday LA Times today. It'll be my first foray into a Sunday LA Times, so I really don't know what to expect. But today we are having a Dornfelder Trocken. And this is a German Qualitätswein that is just phenomenal. It has what you would expect on the nose and palate, the cassis, the minerality, but it's a bit higher in the acids, so maybe just a tad bit more refreshing in that regard, but just lovely. And there's a real bouquet of like tree fruits, green, gold, red apples, and if I'm not mistaken, perhaps maybe some pear. Of course, I do kind of get those juxtaposed on occasion with the golden apples and sometimes the green apples, depending. But it's an amazing thing, and there's just a slight undertone of vanilla with a slightly stronger push toward the tobacco. It really is remarkable just how clearly defined these two aromas are. So the nose is quite pleased. And the palate, jumping for joy. I'm probably going to drink that whole bottle tonight. Probably. No, I'm gonna. I might just do it while we're doing this puzzle. So join me. Pour a glass. Come in, take a sip. Let's wind down. Let's hop into this grid. So again, LA Times, Sunday, November 10th, on the eve of Veterans Day, for all those who have served the United States military, and by extension their country, and all of our allies everywhere around the world. Happy Veterans Day to you. Cin-Cin, thank you for your service. Now I feel like I'm good and lubricated for what I know is going to be a massive Sunday grid. So let's go ahead and play solo. All right, jump in. And yes, wow, that is a massive grid. Okay. Let's just get into it. There's only one way to get to it, and that's to get into it. So let's jump into this grid. We've got dandy, 3 letters at 1 across. I suppose we could stretch it to say A-OK, but I'm thinking this is a fop. In other words, like a dandy, someone who's always dressed to the nines, and maybe slightly metro, a fop. Foppish lad he may be. Polaroid need may be film. Big day for a startup, maybe an initial public offering, and printer tray abbreviation. How about a letter? Visionary, you think maybe optic. Dijon darling, so mon chéri, perhaps. Un peu mon cher, un peu mon cher. One looking for on deck loot. Well, that looks like a porch something out there. Dish garnish. Raised. Humble poker hand could be a pair. And that tells me this is probably a porch pirate. I've never seen anything like that in person, but I have seen it on YouTube where the scammers, whatever they are, I don't know, they put nice appealing boxes on people's front porches, and then they put glitter bombs and stink bombs in them and whatnot for the porch pirates. It's a really rather nefarious thing to go stealing someone's boxes on their porch. So you kind of, I guess, you get the stink bomb and the glitter bomb, honestly, at that point, right? That might be a fair thing to happen. Like the Vatican's Bramante staircase, which is spiral. And I don't believe we've even got a Guardian grid today. We don't. It's like amazing. I usually do the Guardian grid, and then of course the LA Times when I'm not doing the New York Times, and don't even have one. They don't do them on Sundays. So I guess I'm gonna have to either gotta figure out how to do what the rules are to even do one of the acrostics or the cryptics, but I don't know. So raised. I'm that doesn't really help much. I guess we're looking for reared, as in reared your children. Gobs could be loads. All right. And for some reason, we are kind of look like we're just going to go down instead of across. Sound of slime hitting the ground. And this is a splat. I've noticed a lot of splats lately. It's making its way. It's inching its way into the grid for us. Routine could be an act. Pupper could be a pooch. Common childhood fear, examples of which may jump out at you 4 times in this puzzle. Well, okay, so after a cursory glance, and cursory by definition, it looks like we could probably fit the monster in the closet or the monster under the bed, and either way, we're going to have a lot more to go off of there. But if this is an M, I'm going to go with monster to start with. Gas station shop could be a mart, and I feel like I got the go ahead. I got the 2 thumbs up for the monster. Now whether that monster is in or under. Spokes owl who celebrates app streaks. I haven't got a clue. One last shot here. Vagabond. Oh, gosh, that could be a nomad or a tramp. So it's going to be one of those grids today where we're going to have to get more. We can't just take wild A guesses here, right? Put away could be to stow. Floors could be Oz. Protozoan cell count 1. We were just talking about that yesterday, I think. Flagellated was the answer to a clue. The clue was whipped in The Guardian Quick. Whipped. And finally it came to me, flagellated, right? You know, the little whipping tail to get the euglena around. I was thinking single cell organisms. And there we go. Like sesame seeds in furikake, typically. Well, I think it would be typically toasted. I guess you could make an argument that it would be to taste, but I don't think so. That's more of a restaurant thing. Refinement could be class. Shape sometimes made by a comfy cat. Maybe a lump or extra helping hand. Ryan Gosling's role in The Fall Guy. Well, here's another one. I could fit both Body Double and Colt Seavers in here. And I have not seen the movie. I don't even know if he is playing a new version of Colt Seavers or not, but I guess we're going to have to just find out. Pontificate could be to orate. And shape sometimes made by a comfy cat. Leave for later, maybe to defer. So I guess a comfy cat can make a loaf shape. I don't have a cat. I don't know. Maybe an extra helping hand could be a boost, though. So, and I still haven't learned the rules of the LA Times Crosswords. Conductor's reference is a score. But typically a Sunday is, well, it's its own puzzle. Monday through Saturday, progressively harder. Taiwanese laptop brand is an Acer. But Astoria is next to the East River. But, you know, Sunday's usually somewhere between a Tuesday and a Thursday, I think, typically. It's the understanding that I have, but, yeah, who really knows? People who don't cry per a Brooks and Dunn song as Cowgirls Don't Cry. Ride, baby, ride. If you haven't heard that song and you have daughters, yeah. Oh, it is a tearjerker. Leader in Kuwait could be an Amir. Well, I mean, it is, but it could be for the grid, right? Some might say rap of Mean Girls. Isn't that like Riata or something? I can't remember. Renata, maybe? Thought experiment, illustrating special creativity. And I think you're probably looking for the twin paradox here. Dish garnish could be a microgreen. So maybe it's a Renee. Is it a Renee rap? Crew, teams, workout machines. These are probably ergs. So Momo Fuko founder David, and I think that's David Chang. My phone's going crazy here, but that's okay. Yeah, good. Zimbabwe's capital, and I think that is Harare. Chuckle syllable could be a har. Repeats a mantra, perhaps, maybe chants. And hot, sexy, didn't we just have that yesterday? Disney movie set inside a computer, and that would be Tron. Plant also known as a strangler. Fig. Oh gosh, that's Shotzi, not just, well, we were riding on one of those double-decker buses in Barcelona, and we stopped somewhere to let some passengers on, and we had this particular banyan tree. Banyan tree was right there. I did think it was a fig tree at first, but yeah, we did the whole, whatever that app is that we got, picture this, I guess, and a speed skater. Oh no. Oh, is it Apollo? I just can't remember. Italian hard cheese briefly would be Parm. So Caesar lettuce on the basis of sex monogram. You're gonna have to have a couple more things. A fervent agreement. Out of bed. God, that could be awake or a stir. So fervent agreement could be amen, amen. And I think then we're going to have to figure out Nissan sedan could be eventually the Sentra. So I guess we got a stir. My 21st century blues singer. Oh, I know this song and I love it. I got to remember who that is. Maestro Zubin is Meta. Lobster thermoplasty. I cannot remember that. Opponent could be an enemy. Put finger to nose. It me. Okay, so Ray, my 21st century blues. Okay, very nice. Okay, what do we got here? Let's see. Caesar lettuce, I think, is romaine. I wanted to make sure that this wasn't something else, so I wanted to feel a little bit better about going down on that online marketplace. We think eBay or Etsy, right? Add new audio could be to dub. So I guess we're going to go with eBay. And invalid would be null, perhaps. Lobster thermidor? Gosh. Eat Italian blue cheese. There's gorgonzola. But I always have to remember, is it gorgon? Or if not, I think I know where we're going to have to go. Gorgonzola. Let's see. But I do believe this is Apollo. I think. Let's see. On the basis of sex monogram, that would be Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And Ryan Gosling's role. Okay, so it looks like we did get body double out of that. This is a tricky little grid today for, well, it's a tricky big grid today for a Sunday is what it is. But yeah, not insurmountable just yet, but it sure as heck could be. Couture monogram. How about Yves Saint Laurent? And daring in a way, could be edgy. Candy with unique dispensers. Okay, mole, spy. You know, I really need to remember to check the crosses just because I feel like I'm doing well there. If I don't check, you wind up like the other day where I fat fingered, one word and wound up with Ronnie Lat instead of Ronnie Lot. And then I wound up, having to go in and find my error before I could even get there. Something I could have easily solved just by checking either way. So Paris runway spot. I think we're talking about an actual airport, the Orly. Comfort zone. Very nice. And let's see, not so powerful chess piece. Well, yeah, don't we all feel like pawns on occasion? Collision sound. Wham! Whop! A collision with what? I mean, Trap Music City, briefly. I think that's Atlanta. Red carpet designer. Let's go with What the Devil Wears. And one of my favorite movies of all time. So I guess we're talking about the monster under the bed. So I kind of feel vindicated by at least having one of my two guesses correct on that one, right? But it would have been nice if I would have felt confident enough to throw one in there. So I don't know who the spokes owl who celebrates app streaks is. I don't know. If I had known that, I probably could have come up with the monster under the bed. Well, isn't that fancy? Well, so maybe ooh la la. So I guess that's Duolingo. I mean, I knew that they had an owl as on their logo, but I had no idea that this was a thing. And again, a vagabond. Could have been a tramp. Could be a nomad. So I'm sure we could probably scurry up a few more terms if we're thinking about 5-letter matches, right? So penicillin origin was mold. Former Liberian president blank Johnson Sirleaf, and that is Ellen. Okay, so wrapped South Asian garment. Dory. JV players goal would be the A team. And arrived nonchalantly. But this wrapped South Asian garment. Maybe this is a dhoti? I don't know. We'll find that out. Comic Margaret Cho. Only Murders in the Building. Have not seen that yet. I don't even know if I'm going to see it, but they've had a really nice rollout with their lineup of their cast on all of the evening shows for a while there. So I was enjoying that. Leader's spot could be at a helm. Wonderland resident who starts out as a chess piece, and that is the White Queen. And make sure we get that in there and correctly. Okay. Corporate leader, how about a CEO? Caterer's teapot would be an urn. So arrived nonchalantly. Okay, I guess so we strolled in. Contents of un lac, and that would be water. So in a lake. So French for lake, French for water is oh. All right, what do we got here? The case of the X, Mia, farm-centric org, maybe USDA. Puts money in, maybe antes. Neptune's domain is the seas. Okay. I feel relatively good about that. Let's at least finish up over here on the east. Help for getting to the point. To the point. Blonde, brown, or red drink. I think we're talking about ales here. Hockey ruses. Look like maybe Deeks. Singer, design. I think we're talking about Malik. So poet Thomas Stearns Eliot. Yes. T.S. Eliot. Big fan. Gin flavorer. How about the Slowberry? Help for getting to the point. So I guess we're talking about a ballet shoe. Maybe ballet shoes. I don't know. Wow. Having a hard time making my fingers work today. Retired jet could be a supersonic transport. And monopoly payment, probably rent. That's how you make your money in that game. Geologic span would be an eon. Accolades, perhaps kudos. So, ode. Okay, big name in baking products. I'm assuming they're asking for King Arthur. I don't know that I can even tell you what the package looks like. I don't do any baking. And I eat 0 carbs. I don't do breads or anything. But I need to go, next time I'm at one of the American grocery stores on base or something here in Germany, I need to go and see if they have any King Arthur stuff. Go ahead, maybe ascent. And worthy things, maybe assets, fancy fêtes, perhaps we're talking about soirees, songwriter sins, and how is that? Maybe Evie, be generous, give. Yeah, that is. Oh, good. Just trying to make sure I'm remembering it. ABBA, jukebox musical, Mamma Mia. There we go. Sputter out, could be to die. Video conferencing app, how about Skype? And Conway Twitty ballad covered by Blake Shelton. And I think that's goodbye time. Ask for more puppy chow. Okay, so they're begging here today. Kumquat color is orange. Pristine place could be Eden. Dig into an issue, maybe go deep. Fizzy drink could be a soda. American-born Jordanian royal would be Queen Noor, excuse me. Eggo, breakfast brand. Sound judgment. How do you think? Horse sense? Why not? Some swabs could be Q-tips. Diamond overlay. We were talking about maybe a tarp, the tarpaulin that they use. Strong coffee. Speaking of, Shotzi's in Texas right now. She's doing some nursing gigs, and it's funny. I hear her every morning. We talk before she gets to the hospital at dark 30, but she always goes through someplace there in the local area and orders a triple or quadruple espresso, and I think that's my girl. Okay, so holy mackerel. Basic question type, how about yes, no? Rush. Oh, okay. All right, we'll get a second. Newspaper section, what do you think? Obits or op-eds? Similar to a suona, and that would be an oboe. I think a suona is actually a Chinese oboe or something like that. Maybe lopes. So rush, maybe hasten. Yeah, we got the obits here. So taxi spots, maybe airstrips. And evidence board need, how about a push pin? And drive through window, Buccaneers cry, yar, and trade to swap. How'd we do, Bob? Not bad. We have 20 minutes and 5 seconds. And, you know, considering how big a grid this is and just how much I like to be a gas bag the whole way through, right? You know, but that's kind of the thing. And I tell you, even when New York Times comes back online, I may have to continue doing the LA Times grids because I kind of like having you know, a streak going now, right? You know, and so and they're all green, you know, whatever. I don't know what happens when you miss one. Maybe it's red and there's an X. I don't know, but I guess we'll find that out one day, perhaps. Or maybe my OCD will keep me from doing this. You know, I didn't see, there was just not a whole lot of really, truly inelegant grid fill here at all today. But when you're dealing with a construction this massive, it has to be very difficult to come up with something other than the inelegant stuff, like, you know, the pirates, you know, the Buccaneers cry, arr, you know, which could have also been an arrival, you know, the sign at the airport with, you know, ARR or something like that. An interesting piece of what would be otherwise considered inelegant maybe back in the 90s because it was so overused was the SST, right? You know, the supersonic transport. But it was kind of nice to see that hop back in the grid. We don't see it a whole lot like we used to back in those days anymore, but it was nice to see it. So it was a bit of nostalgia for me, and I thought it was cool. So let's go ahead and tap this on out of here, and then we'll bring down our Beignet d'Adieu. And with that, man, I want to say thank you to everybody for liking and subscribing, and I cannot wait to get to respond to some of the comments that I've received overnight. Thank you so much for that. You have no idea how much it makes my day. So to the new people out here that are just subscribing, and to our legacy folks, you know, right now the push is to get to 500. I think that's going to be like a milestone for us. I'm truly looking forward to it. But it's really just a testament to this community. So with that, auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss. Servus. Grüß Gott. Ciao. Cin-Cin. Be good to yourselves. Be good to your neighbors. Be really nice to the person behind you in the queue. We'll see you tomorrow. In the meantime, be safe and enjoy your weekend and Veterans Day tomorrow. Cheers.